I'd like to thank Trev, who's kindly going to let us see his boat, ship, caravan. What's it called?
Oh, I don't know. A good off-road caravan.
It's like a good off-road caravan, and here it is here. And what we're going to do is have a look at all its features, have a walk around first, and then we'll go inside and maybe even get up on the deck and see what we can see there. So would you like to show us, well actually, how come you've got this? I've never seen one of these before. Where did you come across that?
Well, a bit of a story, but I was on a motorbike trip and we were having a coffee in a coffee shop, and a car went past, and I thought that's a bit of an unusual caravan, and then it went past and it wasn't a caravan, it was a motorhome. And I did a bit of research on it, and they're actually made in Queensland, and
Okay.
I just thought, what a great concept that you've got a caravan and a boat.
Yeah, it looks pretty sharp.
And we've had ski boats and things like that before, and
Yep.
so we sort of like the water.
Yeah. Oh, good.
So this is our dip the toe in.
Yep.
Pardon the pun.
Yep.
And see where it goes from here. And we're our first outings this week actually.
Okay.
It'll be the first time we've been on the water with it, but
Okay.
it was water tested down at Geelong when they put the motors on it. But
So maybe we can get some film of that in the water too.
Yep.
Hopefully it doesn't sink.
Well, I'll have to change the name, won't I? Titanic.
That's right. Okay, well, let's have a walk around and tell me all the things you've got. So obviously you've got a fairly decent sized trailer.
I actually bought it as a going concern.
Yes.
And I bought it up in Queensland at Agnes Waters, and the guy up there had it for some time, and he was going to renovate it, and he never got round to it, like lots of projects which we're all guilty of. We start them and maybe not get them finished, but anyway, I bought that off him, and it was a mess inside. To look at it, it was looked like it was fine.
Yep.
But when you actually got into it, it wasn't, because all the timber, it was all ply and Meranti layout, typical caravan construction inside.
Mm-hmm.
And they had flotation foam under the cupboards.
Yep.
Unfortunately, the flotation foam had got moisture between the layers, never dried out, and of course everything, you could push your hand through all the wood.
No.
And we actually didn't like the layout anyway. It was designed for, I think it's licensed for up to 8 people.
Yes.
And it would sleep 6. But we've just set it up for the 2 of us and a dog.
Okay. Oh, well done.
So
Okay, let's have a look. What's all this stuff on the front? It looks pretty technical.
because of the length of it, and it's about 9.5, 10 metres on the trailer, we've just set it up with video cameras, so that when we're towing it, we've got cameras out the back that we can see on the road out the back.
Yep.
And we've got a camera in the helm that allows me to look out the back if we're on the water, that we can see if skiers or other boats are coming up behind us, especially pulling out off the banks and things like that.
Yep.
And that same camera's got a second station which can pick up a camera at the front there and use that for loading and unloading. It's got the headlights in it.
So that's the anchor. That's pretty cool looking.
Stock standard anchor.
I like it.
Still got to make a cover for it. It's got an anchor here with a basic winch on it, and we've got lights in under here, so that if something happens and you need to see at night or something like that, we can light up underneath.
Oh, that's good.
And it also lights the steps up to get from shore back onto the boat.
Okay.
So we've got that fold down step there, which just folds up and becomes part of the
that's a good idea.
the handrails when you're on the water.
Yep.
And then we've got another set of steps which hopefully they work. The concept works.
Okay.
Maybe not. We'll find out over the weekend.
Yes.
But and they just clip into here, and they're a proper set of steps. But I think I might have shot myself in the foot there, because I think I probably need a ramp rather than a set of steps to allow for the different angles of banks and what have you.
So what's it actually made out of?
It's all aluminium.
Oh, yes.
It's made out of painter's trestles, actually, painter planks, but they're a marine grade painter's planks, and the construction's not new. It's well known in the oyster farming industry.
Yes.
And they make them out of these planks, and they call them an oyster barge concept.
Okay.
And you get your outer and inner layer, and then in between each plank there's still 3 compartments, and they're airtight compartments. So technically speaking, if I put a hole in in one of them. As you can see, the ribs here, each one of those ribs is a compartment
Yes.
with a solid piece in the middle.
Oh, right.
So if I punched a hole in that, at worst case scenario, that whole plank will fill up,
Yep.
but that's it.
That's it. Yep, yep.
So, and the same on the floor. So it's quite a...
Look at this. I reckon that's pretty cute. That's a beauty. I like it. And you've got all your water inputs. And...
Yeah, water inputs and that. This one here is a wastewater, so it's got a grey water tank in there, and when we want to empty the grey water tank, we can just run up to an embankment.
Yep.
And I've got a long hose. I can take it up over the embankment, dig a hole, and just. But the wastewater's only shower and sink water.
Yeah, so it's
and the the black water is just a standard caravan
cassette.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Okay, and you've got some decent horns up there.
Yeah, that's a requirement on the rivers and lakes.
Yes.
That you've got to have a horn. There's all your horn signalling and stuff as you're backing out off the bank and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So you've got to have those. It's pretty loud.
Yeah. Okay. What else we got? Do you use oars or
no
oars?
No oars. We've just got the motors on the back.
We'll go and have a look.
There's no secondary auxiliary motor because we've got two. They're both separately run off batteries.
Oh, okay. That's a fairly big. Oh, 60s. Nice.
Both 60s. On the water test at full noise, 47 kilometres an hour.
Wow.
And the boat's about 3.3 tonne.
Yeah.
By itself. It's about 4.3 on the trailer. And if I ever build another one, I can do it a bit lighter, I reckon, if I went again.
Yeah.
I built the trailer. We did the trailer ourselves just before all the compliance rules changed.
Yep.
And I think I was the last one in Bendigo to get a trailer registered before you required full engineering comps and stuff like that.
Yep.
But it's just a Gal RHS frame. I didn't have time to be able to source the aluminium to do it out of that, but if I went back to aluminium, I could lighten it up a bit more. Yeah, and we went. The original trailer was just a tandem, and because we went over the weight, I upgraded the tandem. Then we went a bit more on weight, so I bit the bullet and thought, oh, we'll just do a triaxle.
Right. I'll just hold it there. Okay, so I actually notice you've got little wheels. Is that to sort of park it or?
No, they're for parking it on the trailer. So they come out and they invert vertically.
Oh, okay.
And then as you're going on the trailer, you just line up the front of the boat and the wheels just run down the side and sort of keep the rear end of the boat sort of within its place on the trailer.
Yep.
While you're loading it. It did have 4 of those, but for weight and that I dropped 2 off, and I really think from other experience with boats and that, so long as your back's sort of pretty much in its right spot, you can usually get the front in.
Yep.
And you can manhandle it. You'll still be able to push this around a bit on the water manually, but
the actual design's really good. So you've actually got a little bit of a roof there, so if it is a bit inclement, you can sort of stick your head out the back door. Yeah. And you've got your hot water service there.
Yeah, that's just an off-the-shelf, small camping hot water service unit.
Yeah. It looks like you might be doing some fishing here.
Well, I don't even fish, but I thought if I ever sold it, somebody would want to be able to fish off the back of it.
Oh, that's good.
But the key parts of this are the stubby holders.
Oh, the stubby holders.
The stubby holders, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So.
Yeah, I like that.
And that just bolts into a bracket on the back of the swim deck there, and I can take that out, and I've got a ski pole that will go in there. So we're going to have a crack at having a ski behind it just for shits and giggles.
I'd like to see that. So does this actually fold up when you're travelling?
Yeah. So this folds up, and you can just see it just folds.
Oh, yep.
Like
and
that.
It goes around the motors.
Yeah, and it goes around the motors. Around the motors.
Yep.
And originally, when I got it, it was held in position by shortening this chain with a D shackle, and I didn't like that, so I've changed it so it's a positive lock now. I've got little struts here that hold it rigid in its place.
Oh yeah.
And you still can have the chains on as a backstop if something happened there. It drops down. It's only on the chains.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's good.
But it makes a usable rear deck.
Yep.
I've got about 140 litres of fuel under that hatch there.
Oh, yes.
And underneath here I've got the sonar, or the depth finder, and the pickup on the left is actually a water pickup that you can slide that I've come up with that you can slide it into the lake or the river,
Yes.
and I can hit a switch up at the helm and pump water out and filter it and put it back into my
wow.
my potable water.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So technically, you never run out of water. But if you're travelling somewhere and you pulled up on the side of the road and you want to stay overnight, obviously you'd have to carry a bit of water. But potentially not a full tank of water. I think I've got about 160 litres of water there.
And you've got your lights up there. Is that the port and starboard ones, or
no? They're actually indicators
and
brake lights when we're trailering it. So it just plugs into the back of the car, and when it just works, same indicator. So I've got high and low indicators.
Right. That's a good idea.
And then I've got the light bar there, which we're supposed to wire it in so that when we hit reverse it came on, but we forgot to do it. But I've got a switch down in one of the little cabinets there. We can just hit that if we were backing up at night.
Yep.
Or we use that on the water if it was a stinger at night and you wanted to swim or something. You could, you've got some light up half the river.
That's it. So we'll go and have a look inside. Is there anything else outside? Oh, you've got a water. What's that over there? Potable? Is that potable? Yeah, potable water here.
Yeah, I've done. What we've done there is, if we were in a caravan park or on the side of the road, we've got a barbecue which is up on the top deck. It comes out of a cupboard and just fits on a bracket, which we can have a look at later. But what I've done is, if we're in a caravan park, we can roll the awning out and we can use potable water out of there. And then I've got a gas bayonet here, which the barbecue can come down, sit on a table and plug in.
Yep.
And then I've got a 240 outlet, which is ran by an inverter.
Yep.
And we can put the induction cooktop down on the table as well, so it'll be outside. Cool, So the induction cooktop is it's set into the bench, but it just lifts out.
Yep.
So you can just bring it down. It's 240.
And I've noticed there you've got an awning.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, the awning, I've seen it on other boats this style, and people just run up onto a sandbar.
Oh, nice.
And put the awning out, and put the chairs out. So I thought,
we'll get your lights there as well.
Yeah, the lights are both night and mosquito proofish.
Oh yes.
With the amber,
Yep.
amber lights.
Oh, good.
All the windows and stuff, everything's new. Like, this was basically just a bare aluminium can when I stripped it out, and everything's redesigned inside. All the electronic, everything's done.
Looks pretty. Let's go and have a look. It looks pretty modern. We'll go up through here. Okay, so we've got some steps down in.
Watch your head.
It's a little bit like a caravan. Okay, so what have we got here?
As I said before, we've just set it up for the two of us.
Yes.
One of the female that must be obeyed's criteria.
I've got a boss like that.
Yeah, was she didn't want to be making a bed up every night, and she didn't want to have to wipe the toilet seat from a toilet shower combo.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, there were some compromises.
Yes.
But she has accepted, so I think I'm off the hook. And we've come up with, this is like a day bed, day couch.
Yes.
And it's a futon, so it just retracts out to here, and it still gives us a little bit of a, it's tight, but it gives us a little bit of a,
good.
Like 350 sort of walkway. It's only just on a double size.
Yep.
So yeah, we can track that out, and the bed's basically 3/4 made, and we would just take the top cover off and put the pillows on, and it's done. So that was the compromise there. We've got bed lights here, and they've got USB points in them.
Yes. Just
a cupboard. She likes to read, so she'll put her books and stuff in there.
Oh, I've got aircon too.
Yeah, we've got split aircon, and it's just a house air conditioning.
Yep.
I couldn't get a caravan air conditioning unit because of the roof setup.
Oh, yeah.
But if I ever got to the stage of doing another one again, and I'm toying with the idea, if there's some interest in them, I'd redesign it slightly so that I would put a rooftop air conditioner in, which means I can get a bit more space saving here. Yep. There's not a lot of difference in weight. I think a rooftop air conditioner is about 27 kilos, and I think I'm about 40 kilos with the whole setup here. But you're saving a bit of space and you're saving a bit of weight, so so it all it's all a trade-off.
Yep, exactly.
So,
And all your windows, they're just like caravans with
they're just a caravan window with the
pull
the
down.
privacy blinds and the
Yep,
and
absolutely.
those. I just bought them through a contact online, and
And being in the water, having tinted windows is a good idea.
yeah. It'll stop a lot of the glare.
Yeah,
A lot of glare. And again, if things were done differently, I'd probably just have one bigger window there than that. But I had to work with the existing frame that I've got.
Yep.
And there's ribs running through here, which everything had to fit
Yep,
between.
yep.
But if you're building something from scratch, it would be slightly different. And by going to a bigger window, you'd save a little bit of weight and a little bit of cost, and because not all the extra windows.
So here's your ablution area.
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's
So the fan goes straight on when you turn the light
fan
on.
goes straight up into a cabinet that's vented.
Yes.
Um,
And you've got your toot.
hot and cold water on the gas. It's gas. The only gas here is for the hot and cold water.
Yep.
And for the barbecue. Everything else is electric inside. And
Yep.
I've had people say, "Oh, you'll never get insurance on it because you've done the gas wrong." Well, they're actually wrong. It's all compliant.
Oh, good. So that's the
This is
drop-down basin, is it?
Drop-down vanity.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. So that's actually pretty space-saving too, because this is also the shower. You've got the shower here.
Yeah. And when the dog comes, her bed fits right in the bottom of that tray there, so she'll be happy. And I've got for the cassette. The cassette comes out into the shower base,
Oh, yeah.
so that if sometimes there's a bit of splash and a bit of dribble and whatever comes out, you can just rinse it out.
Rinse
in
it
the
straight out.
shower base. Yeah,
I like the door.
yeah. That's made all the doors. Everything here I've made.
No, done a good
Come
job.
up with, so it's not perfect, but I can see the faults in it. But
No, well, looks pretty good to me.
I've got a one of these too, which I saw at a caravan show one day, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's good. Nice and light too.
Yeah. And they weren't expensive. They weren't $350 or something. They're pretty cheap. Considering.
You got a little window there too.
If you wanted to save space, you could do you could probably have half this size and have the toilet go under the vanity,
Oh, yeah.
which they're designed to do. If you see under the vanity there, it's got a recess in there for the toilet seat.
Yep,
So they're actually a combo.
Yeah.
But I've just done them separately. Interestingly enough, they're both slightly different colours, but they sell them as a combination. But they're both slightly different colours. So.
Yeah. And on the cooking side,
You've got your induction cooktop.
yes.
And as I said, that just lifts out. And I can take that and sit it down on the table.
Oh, okay.
All the overhead cupboards, all the cupboards that I've made are all done out of a product called Thermalite, which is designed for marine camping application. It's a aerated, lightweight fiberglass panel. It's expensive, but you pay the price, I suppose, for not having anything that's going to rot or be affected by water. And I've just laminated it all. You can see it in there. That's its natural colour, and I've just sealed that with Estopol.
Okay.
Just because it actually looks quite cool when it's done.
Yep. That's really good. You got your microwave down there.
Yep, it's a convection microwave oven.
Yep.
Rather than having an oven inside.
That's a good idea. Range hood, is that?
Range hood, stock standard range hood, and that's vented outside,
Yes.
straight outside. Just got your normal bits and pieces in here with your drawers. All the drawers are made out of the Thermalite.
Yep.
Got a fire extinguisher there. I stuffed up a bit there. I thought it was a kilo fire extinguisher, and it's not. It's only a half kilo, and because of the fuel that I carry, 140 litres,
Yep.
I've got to have a minimum of a 2 kilo. So now I bought it and couldn't get a 2 kilo at the time, so I bought a 2.5, and now I've got 3 kilos.
Oh, okay.
But anyway,
Well, hopefully you never have to use them.
no, that's right. Well, yeah, really, if you've got a fire, it's get out time.
Yeah, quickly.
Just a rubbish bin in there, and we've got a small
Pantry.
pantry there.
Yeah, that's good.
And then we've
I like the catches.
yeah, they're just a standard caravan catch. And we've got pot drawers, so a must requirement from those who must be obeyed,
Yep.
which worked all right. We've got a wardrobe here.
Oh, gee, I didn't even notice that. Gee, there's a fair bit of space, and the light comes on.
Yeah, just an automatic light.
For a man who doesn't do much fishing, I've noticed one fishing rod there, and you've got two up here. So I reckon we might see you do some fishing.
Either that or I built it for resale. All of these lockers, all the steps have got the lockers in them.
That's a good idea too.
Yeah, there's no point wasting space, I don't think. And then this top one here, it's got access to all the pumps and things.
Oh yeah.
And I've tried to. Originally, I started my working life as a coach builder.
Yes.
And doing these sorts of jobs here, you really need to think about maintenance. And if something goes wrong, it's all very fine to buy something and then say, oh, yeah, it'll be right, but it's not. So I've done this that pretty much, and I'm not saying it's all easy to get at, but you can get at stuff here. And like even in the shower here with that hatch in the bottom there, that's purely there to get into the bottom where I've got plumbing and pipes and stuff and what have you. So
what's under that hatch?
That hatch there is the sump pump for the shower.
Oh wow, that's pretty impressive plumbing.
Yeah.
And it's all sealed too.
Yeah. So the sump pump, the water just runs in. It's got a float in there. The minute it gets to a certain level, it pumps up into the grey water tank. And I've got a second one of those under the sink.
Yep. No, that's impressive. A nice sized fridge.
Yeah. Our theory is that we sold our caravan to do this.
Yep.
And the theory, or our theory, or our concept is that you get on the water and you want to disappear for a week.
Yep.
So we put a bigger fridge in.
Yeah, that's good.
Some of the production boats have small fridges, like maybe a bar fridge style or something like that.
Yep.
But this one's, I think, off the top of my head, it's a minimum of 180. It might be a 210 or something like that.
Yep, that's good.
And then above that, we've got this cabinet here. It's got the TV in it. And the TV retracts out, so you can watch it from
whichever way.
Anyway, you can lay in bed and watch it.
Yeah, nice.
It all works, but we haven't actually. It all works through your phone. So, and we're going to put a Starlink Mini on this
that's good.
So if we go away, Kerry works for herself, so she can still do a bit of work.
Oh,
if she
good idea.
Needs to.
You got your Sirocco fan?
Sirocco fan, yeah, and that's just stock standard Sirocco fan, nothing special.
Yep. And this is your eating area?
Yeah, and we've done, as I said, there's only the two of us, but it will obviously accommodate four, and we sort of figured if some friends wanted to come away with us, they can sleep in a swag on the roof.
Yeah, pick us.
Okay. But anyway, so the table's fixed in that position.
Yep.
Looking down the track, I probably should have made it that it dropped down to make a bed, because it's actually big enough I can actually lie on there.
Yep.
It's a little bit tight, but if you had a couple of kids, 12, 13-year-olds, something like that.
Yep.
But then they probably want to be up on the roof anyway.
Yep. We actually have the club lounge too, and it's a decent size. That's good. And a lot of them are a lot smaller, but you can sit right back there, and they're pretty good.
Yeah, I actually think the seats, like, we've got the cushions there, but I actually think the seats, I probably should have done them with a bit more lumbar support, but they're fine. They're fine, and they're no different to most other upholstery setups.
So you've got storage underneath?
Yeah, just stock standard storage under there.
Yep.
These just lift up.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Same as a caravan. There's nothing special there about that.
Or your DC.
Yeah, we've got that set up so you can charge your phones.
Yep.
There's the light switch for over there,
yep.
and it's not in yet, but there's a privacy curtain going in here.
Oh, that's good.
So because the boss likes to go to bed early, whereas I like to sit up and watch TV and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then we've got we can run headsets and that sort of stuff, Bluetooth or Wi-Fi to the TV.
Well, you must have some electricity storage to be able to do all this electrical stuff.
Yeah, the whole boat's run on 12 volt.
Okay.
So we've got a 620 amp lithium battery, which Australian made one, and now people are going to say I can't have lithium inside inside, but that's actually certified because it came in a proper container.
Oh, okay.
And when I bought it, I said to the guys that were building them, I said, "Oh, what's the chance of this catching fire?" And he said, "Newer stuff now." He said, "There's not much risk of that anymore, not like there used to be." He said that, but obviously, on some of these scooters and that, where all the batteries are alongside each other, they generate their own heat and keep heating each other up. This one's in a steel cabinet. We can have a look at that in a minute. And but he said the biggest issue is that they sort of build up a gas in them and then do like a gas fart.
Yeah.
And he said you don't want the gas. He said it's not healthy for you.
No.
So he said, so you need to be able to vent it, which I'm able to do here. So I've got a silicon pipe running out and it vents outside.
Okay.
And the nose of the boat's quite hollow. It's not waterproof, but it's got air circulating around. We've just vented it into there, so
good.
it can't get back into the
Well,
boat.
we'll have a look at that.
This is where we've done all our electronics.
Yeah, well.
And that's the 620 amp lithium battery, and as I said, it's vented through the front of the boat into a big air cavity in there, and that vents outside. No water can get in, and we've got a number of chargers there. With the shore power, it comes in and it just goes through a charger to charge the battery. So there's not another electrical system. There's not another 240 system on the boat.
Oh, okay.
Because all 12 volt.
Yep.
And we run an inverter just to run the microwave, the induction cooktop and the aircon.
Yep.
But everything's charged. That's all run from a battery through a 3000 watt inverter. It's just a red arc system. The electrician that we had to do our house and some of our other bits and pieces, it's a bit of a thing for him to do this sort of stuff. And he actually had a company that used to do a lot of solar stuff, so he's just done it on the weekends for me.
And he knows what he's doing.
And he does know what he's doing. Yeah.
So I'll just have a look in here. Oh, yes. There you go. Lots of stuff. Lots of fuses.
Yeah, everything's fused. Yeah,
He's done a good job.
like even just things like this. Like I said to him, I wanted a little light in there, and he said you didn't need it, but he's appreciated it when he's in there with his head doing stuff.
Yeah. No, good job. That looks really good. How do you actually get the battery charged?
Got it's set up that onshore we've got our 240 volt comes in and it goes to a charger.
Yep.
And that charges batteries.
Yep.
The engines, the engines have their own separate batteries, which are under that cover there, and they're charged off the alternators. And then when those batteries are full, then the alternators will charge the lithium. And I've got about 1800 watts of solar up on the roof, which you can't see, but it is there. And when we're driving, if we've got no solar working, because the solar panels will still work when we're driving. Yep. If it's a cloudy, crappy day and they're not charging, then the car will charge.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But it's a system that, well, the car, obviously, if there's no power, then it tells the car somehow, and then that all charges. I don't actually know how it all works, but
as long as it works.
As long as it works.
That's right.
So, the helm, everything here's. Everything on the boat's custom made and custom designed. The helm's all aluminium. I did a mock-up of that, which took me 3 days to do, and then I think there was 18 hours for a sheet metal guy to make it up. It's quite involved. And then if you look underneath it, I don't even know how the electrician wired it. There's that much crap going everywhere. But we've got a whole range of switches and stuff there. I've got a portable radio there, which we've got the dog, and my partner likes to walk the dog in the mornings and what have you. So if we were away and on a river somewhere and there's nobody around, she can take the portable radio, and if there's a drama or something, she can give me a yell. But you could use that to talk to people in the car as well if you wanted to.
So you've got your reverse,
that's the reverse camera, which goes to the back of the boat for on the water, and then you can switch it from camera 1, camera 2 for loading and what have you. All the steering's hydraulic. These are just your stock standard Garmin fittings. the Suzuki.
Oh, yeah.
That's an all integrated system, so it's got your fuel, got your revs, everything. You know, your trims, all that sort of stuff on there. There's one for each motor. So, the seat's adjustable, slides forward, slides back, turns around.
Oh, that's good.
And then that's sitting on the grey water tank.
Oh, yeah.
And again, if I did another one, I'd probably move the fridge back a bit, just shorten the cupboards up a bit and make that tank a little bit bigger and just maybe put a nicer seat in. Just not that there's anything particularly wrong with that, just some bit flashier, maybe. The water tank for the boat is actually the futon base.
Oh, okay.
So the futon, the water tank bolts down to the floor, and then there's brackets that we've welded onto the tank, and that's the mounts for the bed. So it's trying to just utilise space.
Very good. So this is the exciting part here, I reckon, or more exciting. I love that door.
You can wander up first.
Thank you, Doc. Just up the stairs. And that's where the ladder would have... Oh, there's the ladder there. Yep.
Yeah, they've got a handle there that flips over.
Ah, yeah, okay. Yep, I'll get that. Well...
I've got a storage locker under here for ropes and things. And this, when you're travelling, that'll just come across and lock in.
Yep, that's a good idea.
And then the other steps fold up and they sort of fill in that space there.
Right.
So hopefully the dog won't fall off.
Okay, so we've got the steps. Fair bit of room up here.
Yeah. So when I got this, I've had all the handrail and that there, but we've modified all the handrail and I've got rid of it. Had second set of handrails down there, and I just didn't think we needed it, so I chopped all that off and tidied it all up and made this section of the handrail removable, and the steps at the front there, they actually bolt in, bolt out, because you couldn't actually access the window behind it if something happened. So that's all removable now. And while I was doing that, I thought, oh, it'd be nice to have some step lights. So we did some step lights and some deck lights. The bimini, we've made all of that up. It all folds down flat so that it becomes the same height as the handrails.
Okay.
And it's got.
And obviously you put that down when you're travelling.
Yeah. We take off.
You take off.
So put that down when you're travelling, and I can put that up and down myself. Easy with two, but I can do it myself. And then up here there's a panel up there, and it's got 3 solar panels, the same as the ones on the back.
Yep.
So we're running 5 380 watt solar panels.
Oh. And that's the outside air conditioner.
Yeah. So this is all this cabinet. Well, the actual back of it was existing, but all this here, sort of back there, that's all new because it had a couple of lockers there, and so this is the air conditioner
Oh, yeah.
unit in there, and it's vented at the back so that it gets airflow through there.
Yep.
It was a bit tight to get in, but we got in, had to make up a bracket to mount it.
Yep.
This locker's got struts on it so that it can become a table.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then on the other side, same principle. Is that
there's your Barbie.
Yeah, and the barbecue sits into here under those brackets, so that becomes your barbecue table to cook on.
Yep.
And I've got a couple of lightweight rubber mats that'll just go on the floor just for a bit of fat spatter and that to keep it off the carpet.
And you've got some power.
Yep.
Yeah.
You've got USB, 12 volts. You could have an esky up here, run an esky on it, or if somebody was sleeping up here, we could just run a little light. I've got a little string of lights that can come in. When this is finished, we started. This will have mosquito netting, and we'll come right down with a mosquito net door. So this will be pretty good to sit up on a hot night. Yeah. And maybe if it gets that hot, we might end up here ourselves.
Yep.
So yeah, all this folds down, and I just have some Gula straps, and they just zip it down for travelling.
I've just noticed your top.
Oh Yeah, we're merchandising.
You're merchant and captain.
Merch, yeah.
And what's the story about the Alien?
This boat's called an Alien. The company that built them is called Alien.
Okay.
Alien Boats.
Yes.
It was built by a bloke by the name of Jean-Claude Adolphe
Oh.
in Gosford. And I've actually have a few phone conversations with John. I've tracked him down and was getting a bit of information that often. He started the company, built some boats, and then he sold the company. The guy that bought that company, I think he built one hull, but never finished it. And then he packed it up, and a guy in Mannum, he bought just the hull and trucked it from New South Wales down to Mannum. And I come across that because I went to look at it to buy the hull.
Yep.
And I thought it was it was just a bare hull, and I didn't really know how I was going to work all the plumbing and that, because when he bought he only wanted the hull, and when he bought the hull, the bloke said, "Mate, you got the company as well." And Lee, who I'm friends with now, he's not interested in producing them.
Yep.
But I might be.
Oh, that's pretty exciting.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. I've got to get past the boss.
So if you've watched this far in the video and you reckon it might be a good idea if Trev actually starts to make them, or you know someone who'd like to buy one, or to even if you want to buy one, put some messages in the comments and give him a little bit of
encouragement.
And give him some encouragement.
Or money.
Or money, yeah. We'll put it on the stock market.
Yeah. Well, that'd be, pardon the pun, but that float the company.
That's funny. There's so many angles on this. Is it a boat or a ship?
I don't know. Probably a boat, or is it a caravan?
Maybe it's a vessel.
Vessel.
Yeah. And so there's all these angles, and like, it's just amazing.
It's the angles that make it look cool.
I reckon it's pretty cool. And the colours, like, you've got some really good, the gold and the black, I reckon.
I made that colour up. I was looking for a copper.
Yep.
But it's when the motors were put on, the people put the motors on posted a picture of the boat, and it was a 6-second clip of walking across the back, showing the motors.
Yep.
They were saying, "Oh, look at the motors we've done," and then just walked down the side, and in 4 days it had over 1.5 million hits.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully I'll get some of those hits on this one, and that'll be really good. I also like the fact that it's secure. You've got your security doors, and so you can sleep.
These are just stock standard caravan doors, and this one's a little bit problematic because of the angle. It doesn't drain properly, so I had to put a little drain trap underneath, and it works fine. But like if you're doing something new, you just change the design of that slightly, and you wouldn't have that issue anymore. It's just this goes into a rebate, whereas the door needs to go over a rebate.
Yep. Question about this trailer. Looks like, what's that there?
I've just done it from ski boat experience days, where you'd straddle the ski boat rails and fall off and
hurt yourself.
Hurt the private parts maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that just makes it a lot easier to load. So those aluminium planks or RHS, they're just lightweight ones. Yep. And they run the full length of the trailer. So if you need to grab the front of the boat, you can grab the front of the boat and just walk up as it's coming up, or
that's a good idea.
If you need to drag it with a rope or something like that, at least you can walk down that, hook a rope on, then come back out of the way and just put it up. So things like that. The triaxle itself, the wheels, we've done them on an angle frame, as you can see just under here, and they just clamp onto the frame. So if the boat's not balanced right, we can just take the weight off the axles and winch them forward or back to balance it. Fortunately, when we set it up, we had another trailer, the original trailer, and we just sort of worked off those measurements. So that middle wheel there was the centre of the tyres on the other one. So we thought we'd be pretty close, and it's been spot on.
Oh, well, that's
spot
good.
on.
That's good.
If we get into a place where I need to push back a bit further, this is all an adjustable. Oh, when I get it up. This is all adjustable. Pull the pins out.
Oh,
and that all tracks.
Oh, all right.
It gives us a bit more. I get about another metre and a bit. Now, it may not seem a lot, but you know, you've only got to. You don't have to get the whole boat in the water,
Yeah.
but another metre gets another metre under your hull.
Yep, yep.
It's going to take the weight.
Yeah, so actually when you're going into the water, I'll get you
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, so if it's a bit of a shitty ramp or something like that, or the water's a bit shallow,
Yep.
and you've got to keep pushing back to get the water up, because we are reasonably high off the water,
Yeah.
and that's because it's a flat bottom.
Yep.
We've got 2 skegs on the bottom of the hull, which will stop it from skidding around, but just gives you that bit of security that you can push back a bit further, not necessarily get the rear end of your car
Yeah.
too far back.
I like how this is rounded.
Yeah, it's not an uncommon thing.
Okay.
The original trailer was like that, so we just copied it. And when you think about the standard trailers that are built, and I've got plenty of them here, they make a rectangle and then bolt on or weld on an A-frame, and where it's welded, that's the structural problem.
Yeah.
That's the weak point, technically.
Yep.
Whereas with this, that whole rail is the full length of the boat. So there's no weak spots in it.
And it's well secured.
Yeah, just chained on. And I'm making up some covers for the back just to protect the paintwork and that when we've got it strapped down on the back, so the straps aren't running down the side of the hull.
No, she looks pretty special.